having to log in with their classes too, and they'd say, oh, like my kids would like look at me and like they'd be like, they're on a mask break, so like our kids at home wouldn't be doing anything then for a little while. So I told them to go run outside too then when that was happening, because yeah, it's kind of a weird downtime. So that's kind of why I like doing a video rather than a live stream, because otherwise they have to be waiting for us to come back from our walk. All right, so we have a couple more sections here. Now, I didn't put any proofs on this review just because we had done that proof chart. There are some proofs in your homework, I believe, for tonight. But we'll go through the rest of these rules here. So deductive reasoning is our next one. Now, deductive reasoning is the one where we use actually facts. This isn't where we can just say, well, because that's what I thought was going to happen. We actually have to use facts with it. So whether or not we're proving an algebra equation, like that we're showing each step and saying, oh, I use the addition property or subtraction. So what we did here was, these are some true statements that they're telling us. So you don't have to say true or false here. These are all true statements. I'm asking you down here, are these going to be true or false? So they give us this information, and then they ask us, is it true or false that Jody bought pizza? Is it true or false that Dan didn't want to go shopping? Or true or false, Jody had some of Dan's pretzel? Now again, we're using deductive reasoning, so we don't want to say, well, I know Dan, and I don't think Dan likes to shop. You know, like that's not, we're not trying to like kind of use like just thoughts or things that patterns that we think we know. We're trying to use the deductive reasoning. So take a minute to look at that. Try to decide if A, B, and C are true or false. So you're just answering if A, B, and C are true or false. Did Jody buy pizza? Dan didn't want to go shopping, or Jody had some of Dan's pretzel? Now you all want soft pretzels, right?
No.
No? My notes are becoming outdated though. Like malls aren't even really like as much a thing anymore, huh? Like a regular shopping mall. I don't know. Do you guys go to shopping malls? You still go to? You guys drive into? Because there's nothing at other Sheboygan shopping malls at all. I don't know that now. So like, because when I was growing up, like going to McMayfair or well, Bayshore was an indoor mall, but that was really small. We went to Riffwood Square a lot. Like that was a good mall, but. I grew up like in Milwaukee though, so they were close. I used to ride the bus to Mayfair Mall. It's like how close we live, but all right. So true or false, Jody bought pizza. I say true. So if Jody goes shopping, then she'll buy pizza. Do we know if Jody goes pop? The mall is open is the key. The mall is open is what kind of breaks the rest of this to be true. The mall is open, then Dan and Jody will go shopping. Jody goes shopping, she'll buy pizza, so true. Dan didn't want to go shopping. Does it say that anywhere? No. So this again, this isn't you trying to be creative and come up with a really great story about Dan doesn't want to go shopping anyhow. No, that's false. It doesn't say anything about Dan liking shopping or not wanting to go shopping. And then Jody had some of Dan's pretzel. Jody buys a pizza. Dan goes shopping, he buys a pretzel. It doesn't say anything about them sharing, so we don't know that. So that is false as far as we know. Okay? Now the next rules, again, are law of syllogism or law of detachment. I don't need you to tell me I use this law in this problem. I just need you to make the conclusion. So again, I don't need you to tell me, like, remember these names or anything like that. So if you get a hit, then your baseball team will win. Again, I'll try to use things that are kind of common knowledge things that you would know that a hit and a double are the same thing. A double is just a type of hit. So if you get a hit, then your baseball team will win. You hit a double, can you conclude? What can you conclude here? The team wins, your team wins. So you don't have to conclude you're gonna be the MVP, you don't have to conclude the other team's gonna be sad. You can just say your team will win. Because this happened, then this automatically has to happen. You got that hit. Again, so these laws are just stating the facts, so you don't have to tell some elaborate story about how maybe something else could have happened. All right. The triangle has two angles of 60 degrees, and the triangle will be equiangular. The triangle is equiangular, then it's also equilateral. This is the one where it just sounds like they're repeating themselves. So this is the one that we just want to take out that middle information. And so our conclusion is just going to be, if a triangle has two angles of 60 degrees, then what? It's going to be what? Yeah, Will?
Then it is equilateral.
Yeah, then it is. Again, this could be total gibberish. This could be talking about those blutes and warbles or whatever those things were called. So you don't even have to know anything about triangles and what equilaterals. You don't know how to pronounce equilateral or equiangular. It doesn't really matter. You just have to write down what the conclusion will be. So again, it could be total gibberish, weird language. It could be something you know nothing about, and you just have to state the conclusion. So then finally, we'll finish up with section 2.4, and that's kind of using the assumptions with diagrams. And the explanation might be a little bit hard to come up with, but we'll talk about it a little bit. So we can say that BAC and CAD are supplementary. BAC and CAD, are those supplementary? Supplementary means they what?
Are equal to 180.
Equal to 180. How can we assume that based off this drawing? It could be at two right angles because it's a straight line. That's probably the bigger thing. So the right angles is obviously helpful, but the fact that they form a straight line together, we can assume straight lines. So this is yes, because of the straight line. I'm going to erase just because I can't get it. So G is a point in plane S. Oh, they don't have G. So I guess we're adding. If G is a point in plane S, let's put G in here. Then GC would lie in S. So we put a point in S that's currently not there. Would the line CG be in plane S? No, why not, Evelyn? Yeah, C is not in plane S. So since C is not in that plane, you'd say no. C is not on S. CE bisects BD. CE, so this line bisects BD. What do you guys think? Seen some nods. How do we know that? A little something to show us that. Yep.
Because they both intersect at point A.
But what else shows us that it bisects it, that it cuts it into two equal pieces? Yeah, Lena? Yeah, those little tick marks show that. So we have those tick marks there to show that it's bisected. the middle, it bisects, it cuts CE into 2 equal pieces. So if you see CE here, do we know that S cuts that CE into 2 equal pieces? No, we can't know that for sure because that one doesn't have any tick marks. So like C to A and A to E don't even necessarily look equal, but they also don't have any marks. So there'd be no, you can't assume that, there's no marks. All right, questions there? So our homework is the review from the book now. However, I do want to remind you guys to make sure you guys are studying your chart from last class. And when I say to study your chart, again, you don't have to study how to spell symmetric. Like, I'm not worried about that. But if you saw symmetric, like, you know, an example of it, you would know what it is, or reflexive, or transitive, or anything like that, that you'd be able to recognize those and then use them in a proof. There's not going to be many proofs on the test. Actually, I can tell you how many there are going to be. There's just one that you have to fill in, and then one algebra one. So like the algebra where you like solve it and tell me what steps have happened there. I would suggest again studying both of those things, but then a reminder that I will give you guys the word bank. So the word bank basically has every vocab word plus some that we don't have it used. So there's a few thrown in there that maybe might not be real. So just a heads up on that. Questions? Peyton, do you need me to flip back to the notes that you missed?
Yeah.
I think there was, were you on this page? Yeah, you're just on the back. Okay. So, test tomorrow.